Hi, good to have you back. This is Rick from Dynamic Sketching. Yeah, we've got a fun one today. We're going to be focusing on Spider Gwen, the character from the Spider-Verse. Myself and my son love these characters. We love the Spider-Verse, the Spider-Verse movies, and Gwen's such a strong character. And I really like her suit, which is obviously kind of familiar to the Spider-Man suit, but I love the hood, the hooded top and everything. So what I've done is I've got a pin figure here as well, so I can just work on that really quickly, and then I'll be jumping from one to the other like I tend to do. Before I start, thank you so much for all the views we've had. The views are building and building, it's amazing. But I would ask, if I could, that you leave a like and subscribe and even a comment if you've got time. I realise on YouTube there's so many things to watch, and it can be such a distraction, and we're jumping from one video to another, but it's really the bread and butter of trying to get a channel started and us getting momentum so we can do more drawings, which would be really good fun. So if you could do that, I'd really appreciate it. Right, so starting on this, let's just go to our pin figure, nice and free, mapping points, just get the freedom of the pose. This is indicating the bottom of the pelvis, like there. It's going to be a swinging pose. I am using reference for it. It's a foreshortened drawing. That would be where the ribs are. Elliptical shape for the foot there, with a wider elliptical shape for the foot there. The egg of the head, upside down egg as always. Mapping point for the elbow, hand shape, just loosely sketched. Mapping point there. Okay, she's swinging through the city. I will be drawing the city. It's opening a whole can of worms for a much longer video. So yeah, so there we do it. We've got the dynamics of the pose. The Pin Man is fantastic for that. It stops you from getting stiff with the drawing. So now we can pour into our more finished one. Yeah, just getting a nice swing. Gwen's legs, I'm just starting there. You can start anywhere you want, wherever you feel comfortable, whether you feel comfortable starting from the legs or the foot or the head, just whatever makes you feel good. In the end, we're having fun here. Just going to get nice free flowing lines. Gwen's flying through the city, so you want plenty of movement. No stiffness here. I may do a future video about pin figures, because I just think they're so important. You know, you can just do pages of pin figures. You know, just get some A4 photocopy paper. It's not expensive. Get a lot of sheets in a pack, and you can just do loads of drawings of pin figures in any position. It just really frees you up, and it stops you from getting stiff with figures and spending too much time on the finish. Nice freedom in the sketch. That's Gwen's hood. Gwen's hood there. And she's wearing some trainers or sneakers, as the Americans say, like Converse. There's Converses there, and let's just draw there. I hope you can all see the page here. My son's telling me that I need to move to the left a little bit. Keep forgetting I go a little bit central, and I'm probably covering the drawing a little bit too much. So hopefully you can see everything there. Just drawing her other trainer or sneaker. Just keeping it nice and free flowing. Obviously, when comic artists or cartoonists are doing this, they're using the brush or the Cintiq, and they're getting very slick kind of lines. I'm just keeping it nice and sketchy here. Just nice flowing shapes. She's got a web in this hand, which she's about to let go of. And she's got a web here, which is she's putting a lot of pressure on because it's like this is helping her to swing through the city. Just make that nice and loose and messy, the webbing. And it's sort of trailing off from her hand. She wears this, because she jumps from one dimension to another, she wears a kind of like a bracelet or a watch that has dimensional technology on it. Wouldn't we all like one of those? Be nice. Hop from dimensions. So she's actually not in Miles's dimension, she's in her own dimension, and in the movies they cleverly have different colour palettes which are fantastic, so clever, brilliantly done. They look like paintings, so it's done digitally. Okay. She's got the classic Spider-Man eyes. You know, you can see a lot of shades of Spider-Man in the design. That iconic Spider-Man look. And then her costume is black, white, and kind of purpley pink. It's a nice design. So this area is in dark. I'll put a little bit of shading on there. We're looking at her from above, so there's a lot of foreshortening going on, which does make it quite tricky, especially for people who not experienced with drawing the figure. You know, we're essentially looking at her kind of more, if we work it out into blocks, we're looking at her from more above. So the block becomes like that. This is her neck. She's got her head down, that egg shape, like that, you see? Spine going through like that. So we're looking a bit down on her there, you see? Okay, right, so I'm just going to get some shading on. Because we've got this theme of the flowing figure and the dynamics, and I'm always mentioning about not making drawings stiff but giving them a flow. I think the next video I'm going to do is going to be on a fashion pose, because with fashion drawing and fashion poses, they're very theatrical, and there's a lot of weight put on one foot and a lot of, so we're going to look into that, into free flowing drawing into that. So I'm just going to drop a bit of tone on Gwen here. So it's not just linear. It's not going to be the same amount of tone I put into Darth Vader, because this has a more cartoon element to it. We're more kind of interested in the dynamic pose here, as well as fashion drawing. It'd be good to do a video on just pin figures, lots of pin figures, as I was saying. We've got a drawing of Yoda lined up. I love Yoda. One of the Jim Henson puppets, which is just genius, that design of Yoda. It's another one we can do. There's one here. Bottom part of their drawing. Just make it nice and bold. Nice and free flowing. Maybe just a loose shadow off her hooded top here. Maybe a shadow off her head onto her shoulder. That'd be nice. And of course her trainers, could just make them a bit more bold, because they're sort of coming towards us, giving that sort of depth of perspective and dynamic. We can always put a little bit of tone on them as well. that. And then let's put a bit of motion lines. A lot of comic artists and cartoonists do this just to give even more speed and movement and dynamic. I mean, she'll be really flying through the city from rooftop to rooftop or flagpole to give it that. Okay, so almost finished on this. A quicker, simpler, more cartoonish drawing than our Darth one, but hopefully caught the dynamic. Oh yes, I'm almost forgetting, she's got like a little webbed, gloved area, which is very reminiscent of Spider-Man. Just indicate that there. It's a nice design because it's got a feeling of Spider-Man, but she's got her own individuality there in her costume. I'm not quite sure who designed Gwen's costume, because the original costume is either designed by Jack Kirby or Steve Ditko, who are both absolute legends. But Kirby was the one to do the first cover of Spider-Man, so I'm guessing he might have designed it. Right, okay. Almost here, almost to the finish. Maybe a little bit of shading, just a little bit on the side of a hooded area, like that. A little bit. Okay. Right. Thank you so much for watching. Again, please, I'm reiterating again, but it's so important, if you could like, subscribe, comment, or even share. All of that would be amazing at getting the channel building and getting a lot more views. Really appreciate your time with me today. Rick from Dynamic Sketching. Thanks to my son for filming me, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.